Two players in NBA history, some of the most likable players in NBA history, two of the greatest leaders in NBA history, two players that did something that no other superstars have ever done before in their primes. And that is Dwade Wade and Stephen Curry. Now, I could talk about how Dwade Wade has a top 5 finals performers of all time, or how Stephen Curry has a top 3 MVP season of all time. We know about their greatness. We know about everything they bring to the table. We know that Dwade Wade's a top 3 shooting guard of all time. We know that Stephen Curry's a top 3 point guard of all time. But the things that have kind of gone unnoticed regarding to NBA history is their willingness to, in their prime, accept the Robin role instead of being the Batman. Now, when it comes to Dwade Wade, when it comes to Stephen Curry, they were both in their prime. They were both at the peak of their careers. They were both top players in the game. And they took a back seat. They're the definition of team first guys. And they're also the definition of being unselfish guys, unselfish players that wanted to go out and win championships instead of worrying about individual accolades, worried about being the alpha dog on their own team, which they were accustomed to. Now, they didn't have to acquiesce to some of these demands. They didn't have to take a back seat to LeBron James. They didn't have to take a back seat to Kevin Durant, but they did that because they know that the big picture was to win championships, and they wanted to cement their legacy as well as helping some of the greatest two players that's ever played the game, helping them to start cementing their legacy as well. And when it comes to Dwade Wade and Stephen Curry, they do not get enough credit for making that sacrifice in their primes and doing that, because some players wouldn't have done that. Like Kobe Bryant probably wouldn't have done that. If you think about like Kobe, he probably wouldn't have done that because Kobe was the epitome of an alpha dog, even though people want to talk about he played with Shaq, but that was real early on in his career. And another player you may want to talk about, maybe like a James Harden. You know, he's paired with Russell Westbrook right now. He's the better player out of the duo, but some players have this alphaness in them that it's hard for them to play the second fiddle role or play the sidekick role or play the Robin role. And what Dwade Wade and Stephen Curry did, they did that in their prime. They did that when they were the top 10 players in the game. And Stephen Curry, top 3 player in the game in most eyes to people during that time in the 2016, 2015 season when he went back-to-back MVPs. And what they did, they kind of helped teach. They kind of helped taught. They were leaders in the locker room. They took a back seat. But they kind of are responsible for helping two of the best players in the world win their first championships. And it goes unnoticed. Nobody talks about it. Without Dwade Wade and without Stephen Curry, LeBron James and Kevin Durant do not have their first championships. Now, I'm not saying they would never have gone out and won championships on their own, but Dwade Wade and Stephen Curry won championships being the focal point, being the alpha dogs on their teams. And Kevin Durant came and joined the Golden State Warriors to win championships. And LeBron James came and joined the Miami Heat to get over the big three in Boston, also to win championships as well, and also to learn how to win a championship. Stephen Curry and Dwade Wade were already champions before LeBron James came and Kevin Durant came. And it goes unnoticed when we're talking about history that, two players in their prime took a step back and also help teach two of the greatest players ever to play the game. And probably, LeBron James already in the GOAT conversation. When Kevin Durant's career is over, he's probably going to be a top 5 player to ever play the game. They are partly responsible for helping those two win their first championships. And I just feel like it goes unnoticed. I just feel like it needed to be talked about because that unselfishness is unheard of and unseen, especially with two guys in the peak of their primes and two guys that Miami, Wade County, Stephen Curry in the Bay is loved by their cities. They took a step back in their cities and played the sidekick role, the Robin role, and did it successfully as well, and kind of let those guys shine, even though they were the better players, LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Let those guys shine and let those guys go out and help them, cement their legacy, but also started to create their legacy in Kevin Durant and LeBron James as well when it comes to winning championships.